8CHAIN is an 8-in-1 cryptocurrency project building one chain at a time, starting with MaxRep Workout-and-Earn. 8CHAIN envisions to integrate real-world ecosystems into the Metaverse while rewarding the community with 8CHAIN tokens. Garrett Burnett, or Coach G, is the CEO and co-founder of 8J. So hello Coach G, we're very happy to have you in Startup Podcast.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. And thank you guys so much for making the time to invite us. So we can talk about this amazing project that we're building right here in the Philippines. And the thing with 8Chain, it's something that it's truly something that's really going to impact a lot of people's lives. And that's what we're excited about. The thing is, I worked 30 years in cybersecurity and I retired a couple of years ago. Of course, my wife and family, everybody's here in the Philippines. So Philippines is my home as well. And this is where I want to be. But the great thing is, once I retired and stuff, I was able to start pursuing my passions. And, technology has always been at the forefront of what I love to do. And especially with the crypto world and the Web3 space, it was just very, very exciting. So the great thing is, I was able to, link up with a lot of great like-minded people here in the Philippines. So during the pandemic, everybody was locked inside their houses, inside their condos, wherever they may be. And we were doing all these Zoom meetings, of course, interacting on social media and everything. So we were able to really get together and, start talking about what is it that we can build, not only during this pandemic and stuff, but, for the future as well. So myself and the other co-founders, we were, dealing with a lot of things in the stock markets and the crypto world and stuff. But we were also passionate about the direction that Web3 and the Metaverse was going to be going in the next couple of years. So at that time, we got together and started to think about what is a project that we could actually build right here in the Philippines. And one of the things that we came to the conclusion was so many foreign companies were hiring the Filipinos to build their blockchain projects. And, the thing is, we looked at that and we said, well, why don't we build something ourselves? Why do we have to wait for somebody to hire us to build a project right here in this country? So the thing is, so we decided to, let's do it. Let's create a project that was born and bred right here in the Philippines, and something that we could put on the global stage to show everybody that not every project coming out of the Philippines is rug pulls and scams and everything. We really wanted to be able to change the concept and the mindset of what's coming out of the Philippines, because honestly, there's a lot of great projects that's being developed right here in the Philippines. So once we came to that conclusion, we said, what is it that we would like to do? And at that time, we were watching what was going on in the play to earn industry. We were watching, people playing Axie Infinity. And, the great thing about it was, most of us were gamers as well. And, we had a passion for games. But we seen during the pandemic, that a lot of people lost their jobs, especially a lot of OFWs. People were unable to go back to their jobs. And even here in the Philippines, people were locked down. Businesses were shut down. So people were looking at other ways to where they could generate revenue and income. And of course, the play to earn phase, whatever you want to call it, really started to take off. And so many people were, starting to get in on Axie Infinity and Peg Axie and really be able to generate more than what their daily wages were, and it was really a great thing to see. We were getting people that were coming into the gaming industry and into the web space to where normally they wouldn't be there. But there was something that was drawing them there. And unfortunately, people wanted to be able to earn a little bit. But at the same time, as great as that was, we started to also see problems that were happening. And a couple of the problems that we started to identify was, these projects, they had a limited amount of governance tokens, but then they had an unlimited amount of utility tokens. And what was happening was the utility tokens were eventually going to devalue the governance tokens. And so people went from making 500 pesos a day from playing these games and meeting these daily challenges to basically not earning anything, down to 20, 30 pesos. And it wasn't even worth their time. So that was one of the first things that we identified. The second thing was people started to lose the passion for what they were doing. They were just in it for a monetary compensation. Other than that, there was no joy or desire to actually continue to play the game or to have fun with it. So we identified that as well. And we said, well, if we're going to create a project, we need to be able to create something that's really important and something that's really close to people's hearts and something that people will always be excited to do. But at the same time, we didn't want to limit ourselves. We also understood that, a lot of these projects, they come and go. It's like whatever the current trend is, everything's popular. But the question is, what happens after the trend dies?
Yeah.
A lot of these projects, you never hear from them ever again. And a lot of people have, invested a lot of money into the projects and things, but you never hear of them again because now the trend is gone. So we wanted to be able to avoid that. So we said, well, how can we do that? It was kind of a simple solution. Well, why don't we build projects that will cater to all the industries?
Wow, yeah.
And it was a great concept. We were sitting around and we were just having a meeting just like this. And it says, yeah, that's a great idea. Just don't focus on one industry. Why don't you focus on all the industries? And so when we started to do that, we said, yeah, that's a great thing, but where do we start? And what do we do? We had the concept, and this was over a year and a half ago that we started to create this and develop it. And the thing that we came into the conclusion was we said, well, let's write down all the industries that we want to be able to tap. And when we started to look at it, we started getting close to the number 8. And then, of course, being here in Asia, number 8 really has a lot of significant meaning, a lot of power to a lot of people. And we said, 8, so we came up with a number. But then we said, well, what is it that we're trying to do? And we said, well, we're trying to go from one project to another project. And we said, well, it's kind of like a chain, right? So 8CHAIN. And everybody was kind of shocked. We said, yeah, that sounds really good, 8CHAIN. And so the concept was to create a project every year for the next 8 years. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to build something that had sustainability and scalability at the same time. We wanted to have something to where we could go from one industry to another industry to another industry and eventually make our gateway and our entry into the metaverse. Because one thing that we're all very familiar with is the metaverse is going to happen. And within the next, I would say anywhere from the next 3 to 5 years, you're really going to see a big digital disruption. And a lot of people are not going to be prepared for it. So that is what we're trying to do here. We said, well, let's go ahead and start building a project that we can make our entry into the metaverse anywhere from 5 to 8 years. And we said, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's build it one chain at a time, one project at a time. And the great thing about it was we didn't want to alienate anybody. We wanted to be able to bring everybody along with us into this journey. The thing is, that's another thing that we're passionate about here at 8CHAIN is we really want to educate people about not only the crypto space, but the Web3 space and how it's going to impact with blockchain technology and make our entry to the metaverse. So this is something that, we all share the same vision and we all share the same passion about it. And so when we came up with the concept, we said, okay, guys, well, what is the first project that we would like to work on? And at that time, everybody's thoughts and ideas was on the health industry. So many of us, we had, family members that were being impacted by the pandemic. We had close friends and stuff. And I think a lot of people realize, that health is everything. Without your health, you have nothing. And this was really put in the spotlight during the pandemic. And health is everything. So we kind of came up with, okay, well, let's create something that once this pandemic is over, we can get people outside again. We can get people to stop watching the Netflix, get off the sofas, want something to go outside and do. And we said, yeah, why don't we do something about exercise, workout to earn? Said, yeah, the gaming industry is doing play to earn, so why don't we do workout to earn? And it was a great idea because it was aligned with our vision of we want to make people stronger, healthier, and wealthier. But how can we do it? We need to be able to create something that is simple, something that everybody knows how to do. So when we came up with MaxRep, we said, yeah, we can have people exercise, go out and walk. People can go jogging. People can ride bikes, things that are very popular here in the Philippines and things that people would be really excited about doing after the pandemic. And to also give them a affordable way to get into the crypto space. Yeah. And that was the other thing that we came up with was we were looking at some of these other projects and we were like, so many of these projects only cater to people that have money. But how are they making a real world impact? They're making things so outrageous that the normal person cannot buy in. So when we came up with our idea and stuff, we said, okay, well, we're going to create MaxRep. We're going to create these NFTs. Everybody's focusing on the top half of the NFTs, but we're going to focus on the lower half of the NFTs, and we're going to give everybody the complete workout attire. They're going to get a shirt, they're going to get shorts, and they're going to get shoes. And it was really a cool concept because we said, yeah, nobody else is focusing on the lower half. And yeah, we will do that to where people can have the NFTs, they can utilize the app, and then if they meet daily challenges, then they can earn cryptocurrencies, which would be the 8CHAIN token. In addition to that, if they were showing up in the leaderboards, then they could also be able to earn cryptocurrencies as well. And it would continue to motivate people to do things, but you can take it even further when you look at the vision behind it. You take somebody that rides a bicycle to work. They're going to do that regardless because they have to go to work. This is just their means of transportation. So you think about it. If you can have MaxRep downloaded on your phone, you can throw it in your backpack, you can ride to work, and you can actually earn a little bit of cryptocurrency while you're on your way to work. Yeah. The same thing when you're coming back at the end of the day. Launch the app, throw it in your backpack, and go and actually be able to earn a little bit of cryptocurrency. And we wanted to be able to bring that to everybody. And you look at like how tourism is starting to open back up. People are traveling now. People are going to go see the sites. People are, sightseeing again. So how cool is it for somebody to sign up for a tour? Yeah, launch the app, throw it in your backpack, walk around, take pictures, see all the sites, and actually be earning a little bit of cryptocurrency at the same time. So it's a really great idea and concept that we were creating. And what was funny is just a couple of weeks ago, I was in IKEA. And if you've been to IKEA, it is just a huge store. I mean, it's just massive. And while I was there, I said, you know what? I said, I'm just going to go ahead and launch MaxRep, throw it in my backpack. And I'm going to walk around this whole entire store. I'm going to look at the showrooms. I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to do everything that I'm doing. And I was in there probably for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So when I got done, I looked at, the MaxRep on my phone and I'm like, wow, I already completed the daily challenge, which was really cool, just from walking around in the store and everything. So it really is something that we're excited about. And the thing is, we're starting to get, even some of the professional basketball players here in the Philippines are already, being our sports ambassadors as well, which is something that we're happy about because we really want to able to build the first project to give people, something for the athletes, something for people to reward people for having an active lifestyle. When you start to exercise, it becomes a lifestyle. And whether somebody's going to, pay you or not, that's at the bottom of your list. You're going to exercise because you want to maintain your health, or you want in your health, you want to feel good, you want to do these things. And we wanted to be able to reward people for maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So that was first and foremost why we wanted to start with the health and the fitness industry. And from that, we said, okay, so once we focus on the health and the fitness industry, what are we going to move to from there?
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to start tapping the art community after that. We wanted to be able to get people into NFTs. We wanted to be able to give some of the, the very talented Filipino artists here a platform to showcase their artwork, to be able to, be able to profit from that as well. But we also wanted to tap the finance communities and the industries, So we were going to go to 8CHAIN staking and also with crypto earning. We also go into the gaming industry. We're also going to have, play to earn as well. We're not trying to alienate everybody. We want to go to all these markets and give something to everybody. And of course, we have plans to go into like a virtual casino as well, which will be more of a leisure and entertainment industry. And then, of course, the virtual community for all the social media platforms and things. But our ultimate goal is to go to the virtual world, which is going to make our gateway into the metaverse. And, that's something to where, you hear a lot of buzzwords and, the hype about the metaverse. But when you start to really understand what the metaverse is and what's actually being developed, it's still several years away. And when you look at all these big giant tech companies who are investing money to make their own gateway into it, it goes to show you that projects like ours, we have to start from the beginning and we have to slowly build our gateway to this. But that's where the vision comes in. And, the thing is, we all understand what's coming. So that's why we want to start building it now. So we're not unprepared, because one thing about technology is technology forces you to evolve. And if you don't adapt to technology, you become irrelevant. And a lot of people say, well, why do you say that? But honestly, when you look at it, I can remember being in Singapore back in 2007. I bought the very first iPhone there. Cost me $1,200. All my coworkers, everybody was laughing, like, why would you spend that amount of money for a phone? And, so I said, I can download apps, I can do this. But everybody else was saying, yeah, but you can just call and text and stuff. But what they failed to understand was back then, the internet was only available at the house. Everything was dial-up modems. You only got on the internet when you went home. But I also understood that people were going to want to be able to take the internet with them in the palm of their hands when they leave the house, just like they take their car keys and their wallets. So in a way, I was investing into the future as far as what's going to happen in the tech world. And 3 or 4 years later, all those same coworkers that were making jokes and everything, and now they were adapting to technology and they were saying, hey, can you teach me how to use this? How do I do this? I said, well, I tried to tell you guys this years ago. But the point that I'm making is Nokia, BlackBerry, all those companies were at the top of the mountain. They failed to adapt or change with technology. They felt that, well, we're at the top of the mountain. Nobody can take away what we've earned. But Apple, Samsung, LG, all these other companies, they understood the internet. They understood the vision of mobile device and how the internet was going to, be as simple as taking your wallet with you.
Yeah.
So when you look at it today, where is Nokia? Where is BlackBerry? They became irrelevant because they failed to adapt to the technology. The same thing is also going to happen with this metaverse, with the blockchain technology, with cryptocurrencies and everything. A lot of people are going to be not prepared for this, and they're going to have a difficult time getting in and trying to make, their adaptation to it. So it's really about just understanding technology and learning that, technology forces you to evolve, and you look at before email, everybody had a physical address. When email came out, said, well, I don't need an email address. I got a physical address. Well, try to get anything done today without having an email address. Most of the time you need it for verification. You need it for, whatever it may be, one-time pins or whatever. So they forced everybody to start having email addresses. So the same thing is going to happen within the metaverse and the blockchain and with cryptocurrency.
Yes.
So I hope that kind of answers a little bit about 8CHAIN, the backstory, how we developed, and what it is that we're trying to build here.
Yeah, this is actually it's actually a very exciting and actually very inspiring narration. Especially what you said earlier, that hopefully Filipinos can have something of its own, and especially I like the part where 8CHAIN is actually revolutionizing the economy, like maybe rebalancing it so that it becomes more inclusive as we adapt further technology as technology evolves. It's true that technology can be great for most people, but sometimes it can leave other people behind. No? So like 8CHAIN is like solving that gap that sana hopefully the metaverse becomes more inclusive, maybe I think for everyone. But I just want to clarify, Coach G, what really is metaverse? Kumbaga, like what can we really see in the future, like in maybe 15-20 years? How important, how crucial is it for Filipinos to maybe adapt or to maybe really get ready for the metaverse?
You know, and that's a great question. And I mean, that's something that we could spend all day talking about. So I'll try to be as brief and detailed as I can, you know. But, you know, when you think about the Philippines, we have more phone numbers than we have population. So a lot of Filipinos have 2 or 3 phones, and they love the networking. They love the technology. And you think about in the future, when 5G technology and above starts having full range access on all these island chains, wow, you're talking about really being able to bridge the gap and bring so many of these island chains together to share all these brilliant minds and ideas. It's going to be really something that's going to be amazing. And the great thing about the Philippines is they're very, very willing to adapt to technology. And I think that's something that gives them a competitive edge over a lot of people. And it's also one of the reasons that when you look at Binance and you look at companies like that, there's a reason they want to set up into the Philippines. The Philippines has the perfect market. The Philippines has the perfect network in order for this to be a great thing. And if the Philippines plays this right, I mean, they could be on the global stage as Singapore, Dubai, or any of these other countries, because whoever adapts to technology first is going to be leading the pack. So I really hope that, that is eventually going to happen. But when you think about the metaverse, in technical terms, I mean, the metaverse is basically just an integrated network of 3D virtual worlds is basically what it's going to be. And people are going to be spending their so-called digital life in this world. And, you know, when you think about like the internet's been in different stages, throughout, since the 90s. It was more about computing and emailing and everything in the very beginning, usernames, email addresses, and so forth. But you look at what's happened recently, we've shifted toward media with photos, videos, live streaming. You look at TikTok, you look at YouTube, you look at all that. But the next evolution of all this is going to be 3D interactions. And the metaverse is basically going to grow the digital economy. Everybody knows that digital is the way of the future. You look at how your banking's done, you look at how your traveling's done, booking tickets online, and everything is done digitally. But when you look at like the entertainment industry, the fashion industry, the gaming industry, of course, and social events are all going to be enhanced by what's happening, in the metaverse. And just to give you a brief idea about the metaverse is you're going to have a virtual avatar that you're going to be using to interact within this 3D world. And for a lot of people, it sounds science fiction. Everybody's like, wow, that sounds like Star Wars. That sounds like this. But science fiction has a way of becoming reality.
Exactly.
And when I was a kid in the 60s and the 70s, Star Trek was one of the big things. You would see Captain Kirk with his communicators. You would see flat screen TVs. You would see doors that automatically opened and closed. You would see iPads. And this was in the 60s and the 70s. But you look at today, wow, a lot of that has been adapted into real world items. You have your cell phones now. You have your iPads. You have your flat screen TVs. You go to shopping malls. You have doors that open and close. So as science fiction as it sounds, it is going to become a reality. And one thing that the pandemic has showed everybody is we can actually live in a virtual world and do things virtually. I mean, we're doing a virtual meeting right now. So when you think about the metaverse, it's going to take it to another level. You're going to have a 3D avatar that is going to interact within this digital world. Just like when you wake up in the morning, you decide, well, what clothes am I going to wear? You're going to be doing the same thing with your digital avatar. And what you're going to be looking at is what NFTs am I going to be wearing today? What shoes am I going to be wearing? What shirts am I going to be wearing? What hat? What bag am I going to use? These are all going to be NFTs. And when you look at like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, they're looking to already set up retail stores within the metaverse where people can actually buy their items as NFTs and use them on their avatars to interact into this world. So you may say to yourself, oh, well, what kind of interacting are you going to be doing? Well, social gatherings, sporting events, concerts, you name it, fashion shows, all these things you're going to be able to do from the comfort of your own home and being able to interact into this digital virtual world. And the great thing about that is, if you go back to even 2017, I can remember when Samsung came out with the Note 8, matter of fact. And it was the first time that they were also releasing the Gear VR, which was going to be, basically part of the Oculus virtual reality headset. Keep in mind, this was 5 years ago. And I can remember buying one of those just to get the virtual reality. I was amazed at 5 years ago of what you could do at the beginning stages of virtual reality. I was able to download NBA League Pass, sit in my living room, and watch the Lakers courtside. In real life, I could not afford to buy a courtside seat at the Lakers game. But in the virtual world, I was sitting courtside watching Kobe Bryant and everybody run up and down the courts and play. And it was amazing because it felt like I was at the game. And I'm sitting here just left to right. And I'm just watching the game as it's just being played live. It was an amazing experience. And I said to myself, wow, if this is the beginning of virtual reality, what is it going to be like in 20 or 30 years from now? This is going to be something that's going to be so difficult to even put into words. And at the same time, I was able to also do some of the other things as far as travel. I was able to I was interested in maybe going to Greece. I could actually see what it was like to physically be in Greece or physically be in Rome just from the comfort of my own home. I was able to put the virtual reality on, download it, and it was like, wow, I'm at the Colosseum in Rome. I'm looking around, and it was just like amazing. So if I wanted to book a trip to go there, I already had a little bit of an idea of what I would be experiencing when I went there. And you take it a step further. Let's say you decide to do something about history. Maybe there's certain historical events that you would like to go back in time and experience. Virtual reality will allow that to happen. You would be able to go back to the old West, or maybe you want to be a pirate out on the high seas and see what it felt like back in the 1800s or whatever. So virtual reality is going to make that a reality for people. So you think about it from an entertainment point of view. If you watch children today, all they want to do is look at their phone and be on an iPad or whatever, and they go into their own world. Imagine when the metaverse and the virtual reality allows everybody to interact however they want. And the thing is, you're going to be able to do it from the comfort of your own home. And I think if you look at just what was it last year, I think Travis Scott was doing a concert within the virtual world, and it was a huge hit. And a lot of people were saying, wow, look at this, virtual concert. But you think about it, from the sporting events to things, you got the World Cup coming up. What if you could sit there and, there's no way I can fly to go to the World Cup, but what if I could do it virtually? Wow, it's just like I'm actually there watching the World Cup. So the metaverse is really going to change the way that we socially interact in the future. But it's also being built on blockchain technology, and you're going to have to learn about cryptocurrencies and everything else, because that is going to be the digital currency that you're going to have to utilize within the metaverse in this virtual world. And another popular thing that you're also starting to see is people buying virtual real estate. And you think to yourself, why would somebody spend millions of dollars to buy virtual real estate? That sounds crazy, right? But it's a reality. People are looking at it and saying, yeah, okay, if this virtual world is going to be connected to everybody, I want to own this one Las Vegas strip within the metaverse to where maybe the online casinos are going to be within this strip. And you think about it, let's say you own a casino in the metaverse to where people are actually going there. It's like they're walking through the doors of the casino and they're able to interact with the games, but yet you own that virtual real estate. So you benefit from the profits and everything else from it. So you really have to have a creative imagination to understand what's going to happen with the metaverse. So I hope that kind of explains it a little bit to you.
Yeah, it's actually a very good explanation, and it's actually like the possibilities are endless. Kumbaga. I just want to ask Coach G, maybe how was the experience of building 8CHAIN in the Philippines? I just want to know the experiences, the feeling, the sense of like building the projects, and maybe like how are Filipinos responding to like this project, and then maybe like are we accepting or are we rejecting of Metaverse as the future? So can you just get some insights about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, the thing is, coming up with the concept and building 8CHAIN, there was so much excitement and passion from like-minded people. And it actually made, the project concept and everything was easy. But it's like everything else. It takes time to build a project of this magnitude of what we're doing. But the thing that we're really learning is so many people here in the Philippines are so passionate about the Web3 space and the crypto space. However, we're still only at 5% here in the Philippines. We still have a whole nother 95% of the market to educate about this. And that's another thing that we're passionate about doing, is about whether people decide to support 8CHAIN or come on board with 8CHAIN. That's beside the point. The thing is, are we adding value to the Web3 space and the crypto communities? And we are, because we educate a lot of people about what's happening. And the great thing that's happening here in the Philippines is there's so many IRL events that are starting to take place. There's so many exhibitions and conferences that are starting to take place. Now that travel is open up, people are coming from other countries to come here to have Web3 conferences, crypto conferences, and it's a great thing to see. And, fortunate 8CHAIN has been, invited to a lot of these events and stuff. Another thing I think that's awesome is the Draper House, which is a great place for startup companies. I really love what Christian and those guys are doing at Draper House, because they're giving startup projects a platform to explain to the people of what they're building and what they're doing. The great thing is, you're also exposed to a lot of VCs and stuff that are like, wow, I really want to get involved with a crypto project. And this gives me an opportunity to not only learn about it, but, also to be able to get involved with it. So the excitement is there. And the thing is, so many people are into doing it. And it's a great thing that 8CHAIN was able to capitalize on bringing in so many great minds to help us with this project. But the other thing that you have to understand about the Web3 space is, there's a saying, WAGMI, we're all going to make it. And there's a lot of truth behind that, because so many of these projects, people are so open and willing to share their knowledge and their ideas and suggestions and things. We don't have all the answers. But coming together in these events, we learn so much from the community. And especially like with our Discord communities, our Twitter spaces, and and everything, we learn so much from the community. And it is a great thing that all these communities are interacting with one another. And they really support each other, and they really want everybody to be able to make it. They really are excited about other people's projects. I get excited about 8CHAIN, yes, but I'm also excited about all the other projects that are being developed right here in the Philippines. And it is so cool, you know? So I'm just happy to be able to be involved with all these different projects, and to be able to support them as well. So back to your original question, yeah, there's a lot of support here in the Philippines. There's a lot of excitement, and people are constantly trying to hold events. And sometimes it's as simple as, gathering and sitting around and talking stories and everything. Most of our people aren't in suit or ties, they're in very casual attire, but their minds are brilliant. And you think about like Elon Musk, you think about people like that, they're just everyday people who are really down to earth, but their mission and vision is bigger than what they're trying to build. And that's the same thing with us at 8CHAIN. We're really about transforming lives one chain at a time with no one left behind. That is our mission, and that's what we believe. That's why we wanted to build a project that was going to be here for several years, to make a real world impact and stuff. And the Philippines is just an exciting place to do this. And it's growing every day. So it's amazing times.
Yeah, that's really what's amazing about the Web3 culture actually. Like, it gets stronger the more people go into it. So like, magtutulungan talaga ang mga tao. So we really need to help each other, and hopefully, wag me, we're all gonna make it. So let's wrap up this conversation, Coach G. So like, what should Filipinos look out for with 8CHAIN? Like, what are maybe the 7 chains left that we're about to see with 8CHAIN, and like, what are the future projects really that we can possibly use, and maybe we can take this time to invite our listeners to try out MaxRep Workout-and-Earn and join the 8CHAIN community.
Yeah, the thing is, we highly encourage everybody to enjoy our 8CHAIN communities. From our Twitter Spaces, Discord, to the Facebook. But the first thing is start with the website. Go to 8chain.io. Start reading about the co-founders. Start reading about the projects. All the information is there within the white papers and on the website alone. The thing is, we've been building this for quite some time. And the thing is, we're in our closed beta right now. We're getting ready to go to our open beta, which we're going to be able to open the app up to a lot more. And then we're looking forward to going public as well, and also going ICO, with the 8CHAIN token. So if you stay involved with our communities, you can learn about when those stages are happening. And, the thing is, we're not rushing the project. We want to make sure that we develop it right. And we want to make sure that we give the people what it is that they deserve. But definitely join our communities, be part of the Web3 space, and start doing your homework. And I encourage that to everybody. 8CHAIN, yes, is building a lot of great things for the future, but you also have to understand it takes time. But this is something that we're all passionate about, and this is something that we want to do. And, we want to be here for the long haul. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. We want to be able to diversify. We wanted to have the scalability of many, many years to come. When the latest trend dies, we still want to be here. And right now, you look at the bear markets, 8CHAIN is still here. 8CHAIN is still being developed. A lot of other projects have folded during this bear markets and stuff, so we're very proud of the fact that we're still here, we're still building, and we're still developing. But our community is constantly updating people as to our progress, and hopefully, you join the communities, maybe you can get one of the beta tester slots. The great thing about that is you can also help us improve the app. You can help us improve, your suggestions, what you think could work better. These are the things that we value as a company, as the people's opinions. We want to be able to open this up in stages to where, we can iron out any bugs and get rid of the kinks and add, suggestions that people make, before we go public with it and stuff, But I encourage people to start looking at, all the other projects that are being developed right here into the Philippines as well. Do yourself a favor. Start educating yourself about the crypto space. Start educating yourself about the Web3 community and stuff. Regardless of what project you decide to support, start learning about it, because this is something that in the future, you're going to have to explain to your kids. This is something that you're really going to have to embrace, because the day is going to come to where, yeah, you look at your money now. When's the last time you really held a lot of paper money in your wallet? Most everything's done by digital assets right now. Cryptocurrencies are going to take that to the next level. NFTs are going to take that to the next level and stuff. So yeah, you have to educate yourself about it so where you can be prepared for it. Because like I said, you don't want to become irrelevant. You want to be able to stay relevant in the future. So educate yourself about it. Go to the YouTube channel, start learning and stuff. And, one of our co-founders as well, also the Chief Risk Officer, Tito Vlogs. I commend him every single day. He is going to YouTube with his channel and really taking the time to educate people about this space. It's got nothing but my respect and everything. And I'm just super happy, that he's our Chief Risk Officer and also, one of the founders of the company as well. But his passion is also about educating the space. And I love what he does. And, other people as well, Marvin Jeremo and all these other people. I love what they do every day because they really dedicate their lives to trying to add value and educate people about the space. So, yeah. So for all the listeners, start doing your homework, start joining these communities, and start educating yourself about the space. And that's it.
Yeah, so visit 8CHAIN's website, 8CHAIN.io, and I actually follow 8CHAIN on Facebook, and I keep myself updated on 8CHAIN's projects there. So thank you, Coach G. This is a really wonderful conversation. We got to know what Metaverse really is and what 8CHAIN is trying to do, so that we're all gonna make it in the future. Kumbaga, hopefully in the future, the Filipinos can take this as an opportunity so that we can ride with technology and maybe wag nga tayong maiwan, and hopefully in the future we're one of the forerunners in the metaverse world. So maraming salamat. Thank you very much, Coach G, for sharing.
Yeah, maraming salamat there, pare, and thank you so much for having me on the show. And take care of yourself, and to all the listeners, have a great day, and just continue to educate yourself. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much to our 25 patrons. AskLexPH is our official e-learning partner. Get 5% discount on e-learning courses and certification programs on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more using our promo code ALPHAXSUP. This episode is super powered by Pinoy IP Works, the intellectual property company advancing and protecting Filipino ideas. Packetworks, the leading enabler and only Internet of Things social enterprise in the Philippines. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa, and tocino. And 8CHAIN, an 8-in-1 cryptocurrency project building one chain at a time, starting with MaxRep Workout-and-Earn. This episode is powered by Tuala, Hive Energy PH, ePlayment, Interleukin, and ROC.ph. Support us and get your brand promoted using the links in the description below.